Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. The winter blues have set in for many, but our next guest says what we eat and drink can make a remarkable difference in how we feel this time of year. Joining us with science-backed foods to help your mood, we welcome back clinical master herbalist and certified nutritionist Donnie Yance. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Hannah. My pleasure.
Well, it's a good reminder, right, that foods don't just nourish our body, it's kind of our whole brain and system that we operate on.
Well, exactly. I mean, we are an interconnected whole being. So when you look at food, food is something that touches our health in every way. We can dissect food and look through molecular lenses, cellular lenses, organ system lenses, and now unpack seeing food by its macro benefits, which would be simply the protein content, the fat, the carbohydrate content, the micro lens, which is the vitamins and minerals the food gives us. But now the newest science and the most exciting science is in what I like to call nanonutrition, which is all these secondary metabolites, these small molecules in food that do so much to benefit our health. You know, we look at things like carotenoids that make food or give it that orange and that red pigment, and even the color of a food can lift our mood. Just the seeing a food or smelling a food. I know that when I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking and I'm making my own sauce and smelling my fresh basil and rosemary, already my mood is uplifted. If I'm making some homemade bread from scratch, that the smell of that bread cooking is already lifting my mood. And so, you know, we are seeing the interconnectedness within a food that provides all of these molecules, and we're seeing how they impact our health by bathing with what's called our microbiome. And our microbiome is key, and it's so key, it's actually referred to now as the enteric brain, the second brain of our bodies.
Wow, so tell me about probiotic and fermented foods and how helpful they can be when they're used properly in that way.
Well, probiotics are these organisms that make up our microbiome, and they are present in a lot of fermented foods, and they're also able to interact with what's called prebiotics and then what's called short-chain fatty acids. And so it's not just enough to have probiotics. You need this whole combination, and now actually many of them are referred to as psychobiotics because they're so good for our neurological health and our moods. And some of those would be found in, my favorite is Reggiano Parmesan cheese, which contains this organism, Lactobacillus rhamnosus. Then we have bifidobacteria, which is in a lot of kefir and yogurt. Vinegar has probiotics, pickles have probiotics, brined olives gives us an organism called planetarian. Akromyces is another organism shown to be very important for our immune system health. That's present by eating apples and cranberries, which are in season right now. So when we're looking at foods that are in season, apples, cranberries, a lot of the fatty fish that provides us with all kinds of nutrients, gives us our vitamin D, which is hard to get without the sun, gives us our omega-3 fatty acids, and a compound like in salmon called astaxanthin that makes the salmon pink. And so, and prebiotics are really important too. So we have artichokes are really good. Oats are really good prebiotic. Barley's a really good prebiotic. Jicama's a prebiotic. So these foods interact with the probiotic foods, and they build this beautiful environment of diverse organisms that promote our health in every way: cardiovascular health, immune system health, neurological health, and in particular can really lift our moods, particularly during these months of darkness.
Well, and you're talking about really delicious stuff too, so that's great news. We've got about a minute left. I want to make sure I ask you about chocolate because it can be beneficial, but you got to get like the high quality stuff.
Absolutely. I do a little talk on food as medicine, and I have a whole section on sin foods that are really good for you. So we're looking at coffee, chocolate as being at the top of the list, and these foods that used to have a bad reputation that, again, so many cultures have embraced are really showing great benefits in longevity research, in heart health, immune system health, digestive health. But now we know dark chocolate contains all these compounds that do feed our microbiome, that do change our microbiome and significantly enhance our mood. And yes, we want to get dark chocolate. We want it to be above 70% or higher. And we want to have small amounts of it. So one of my idols, Ben Franklin, says, a place for everything, everything in its place. And so certain things need to be consumed regularly, but in the right amounts. And chocolate is something you want small amounts every day. Coffee, you can have a good amount of coffee. Again, there's over 100 phenolic compounds in coffee. It's not just, quote, when people eat drink these energy drinks, they're not the same as the whole food. So stay close to nature.
Okay, good stuff. We learned so much. Thank you so much for stopping by. It was great chatting with you.
You're so welcome.
We'll have these tips and more about Donnie on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this. First, here is the latest must-have gadget.